welcome to Deep Dives with Dogs. Today we're talking about the first American road trip. This is between a Mr. Sewall Crocker and the lead on this whole expedition, Mr. Horatio Nelson Jackson. So this little adventure starts off like most things in life, with a man trying to prove that what he likes is best. It's Mr. Nelson here, Mr. Horatio Nelson Jackson here, I should say. He likes cars a lot, and he gets up into like a little argument with somebody, a group of people, some of his friends, that says, a car can make it across. And they say, no, a car can't make it across the east, it's just not possible. Yada yada yada. And Horatio disagrees with him. Says, no, they could definitely do it. And they say, fine, do you want to bet on it? He says, sure, we'll bet on it. He bets like 50 bucks, by the way. That's the bet. He bets about 50 bucks. Says, all right, well, I'll head from west to east, and I'll prove it. So, fine. Horatio, luckily enough, kind of wealthy. Him himself, he's all right, but his wife is very, very wealthy. Her family, very wealthy family. So they say, okay. He says, honey, I need about $3,000, and he buys a used car, not even a new one, a used one. A used Winton is the brand, and he says, I'll meet you out east. His wife, being used to his antics, is like, all right, I'll see you at home, honey. She gets on a train. She goes back home. Um, Mr. Horatio, though, buys his car for about $3,000. So, like I said, he only spent like 50 bucks on his bet. This bet's only for 50 bucks, and he's spent already $3,000. It's not about the money; it's about the message, okay? And he finds himself a mechanic, obviously, because he likes cars, but he doesn't know Jack Diddley about them. So, hey, I need some help. So he finds a guy named by the name of Sewall Crocker. Um, Without him, this trip just doesn't happen. Crocker is a pretty good mechanic, actually. With some of the stuff that happens during this trip, some of the breakdowns and things like that they have, without Crocker there, I don't think. No, I'm just telling you, without Crocker there, this trip does not go through. Um, and so they get everything ready, get packed up a little bit, and they set off. Now, they didn't have the biggest plan. There's some paved roads at this time, but not a lot. And they don't take those paths. They take the shorter path, which is the one without a road. So they have to go around the mountains, the Rockies, and they go up north around them. Not really around them, but they go up north and get around them. And as they're going, things are good, but the car keeps breaking down every so many miles. These cars just really weren't meant for this. So they were meant for like cities. That's realistically what they were meant for. So they're going. It's fine. They get gas at small towns. Some of the people in these literally middle American towns had never even heard of a car or even seen one. And so this is the first time a lot of them are even seeing one. And so this actually helps, honestly, in many ways, introduce a car to people and get that idea to them, like, oh, cars are really neat. Because you gotta remember, this is 1903. This is a long time ago, by now. Cars are just starting to take off, really. And, they've been around for at least a few years now, like about 20 years or so. But they're just starting to take off, it takes time. And you don't have people like Ford or anything like that yet, really making cars. Yeah, Ford did make cars, but not on the big scale that we know of today. But anyway, so they're going on their trip, and it just so happens that not long after they had taken off, car companies were actually competing to become the first to get across America. This will be the first time a car has gotten across the United States. So car companies, not even knowing about Mr. Nelson, Mr. Horatio Nelson Jackson and Mr. Crocker, they take off. Actually, there's like about 2 or 3 different car companies that take off. They the one that would be the closest is they take off not long after Horatio and Samwell, or Swalwell, not Samwell, Swalwell, and they are on a lot. They are going on a lot of the paved roads. Some not so much, but they've got a crew following them the whole time with full repairs, full gas, things like that. So they're fully prepared. They have pit stops along the way. It's not like our good old friends Horatio Swalwell. They are way more prepared, and so they start rapidly catching up to Horatio and Swalwell. They're not going to be on the same road. They went south. Swalwell and Horatio went north. So it's now a race basically from these two groups to see who can do it first. And people are eventually they hear about Swalwell and Horatio along the way because they've stopped and met trains and things like that. So there are people following them, and there's people following obviously the car company. And it's like, oh, who's going to win? And at the end of it, it is Swalwell and Horatio, and they get the title of making the first American road trip from east to west. The car company will follow not long after. The car company's group, they'll follow not long after. But they still get beat out by just a dude that wants to win a $50 bet, who spends like thousands of dollars on this trip, obviously, because he spends a lot of money on gas, parts, things like that, for himself and Swalwell. And yeah, they managed to beat the car companies, and they're just the first people to ever complete this journey. And it's just funny to think that it was a regular American that completed this, not a big old car brand. Yeah, and that's pretty much all Horatio does with his life. He didn't go on to do anything else crazy. That's pretty much about it. Interesting guy though. But now you know. That's going to do it for this video. If you guys liked the video, leave a like. If everyone's going to approve these videos, leave a comment down below. I always appreciate your feedback. And as always, subscribe. It really does help out the channel. Thank you.